8 o'clock in the morning, I'll have fish and a rice cake.
Okay, welcome back to Fish and a Rice Cake. And today, we've got a little bit of a different episode. Jake, as you can tell, looks a little bit different.
Yeah.
He's had a makeover.
Changed today.
It's like stars in your eyes.
Who am I today?
But no, we've mixed things up. We've replaced Jake because we decided Jake's just rubbish. And he just doesn't provide any value. So we've replaced him with
Someone better looking.
more muscles. Just basically an improvement in every single area, I reckon. No, this is Evan. So this is Evan, my client. And today we're just going to do a little bit of almost like a bit of a client I called it a hot spot a minute ago, but a hot seat.
Hot seat.
Yeah, where I'm just going to ask Evan questions. And I think we're just going to go through your journey a little bit because you've been a client of mine now for about a year
Just
or so.
over a year.
Yeah. So we'll go into more details. So we won't kind of dive further just now. But so just over a year or so. And been through a pretty cool transformation. And again, I'm not going to give away too much because I want everyone to carry on listening. So actually, just before I forget, because we always forget to do this, myself and Jake, right? And this is something we need to do more. So listen, if you're listening, like, subscribe, follow, leave us a 5-star review if you enjoy it. If you don't enjoy it, don't leave us a 1-star review. Just don't review. But yeah, 5-star if you enjoy it. So, Evan.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay.
Introduce yourself. Let us know a little bit about yourself, mate.
Well, I started my fitness journey about a year ago with yourself. I'm a driving instructor, so I don't do a lot of movement in my day-to-day life generally. So, and big football fan, big Villa fan.
As an Aston Villa fan, you're absolutely living the dream at the
Living the dream at the moment. I wouldn't be on this podcast otherwise.
Well, you're actually down here for football today. So
yeah, we are actually.
Not for Aston Villa though. So today you've come. Obviously, we film in Manchester, and Evan is down to watch
Bury today.
Yeah. So
up to Gig Lane.
Yeah. So that's
football.
Bit of a drive for you as well. So Evan's you're living in Wales, aren't you?
South Wales.
Yeah.
So it took us about. It wasn't too bad this morning actually. About just over 3 hours.
That's
not
bad.
Not bad.
That's not bad.
Not bad.
See, because I forget that Wales is actually quite big, and you can get into North Wales very easily.
Yeah.
Like literally, from me, can be in North Wales
Yeah.
for like 30-40 minutes on a good run. So when people say, "Oh, Wales," I'm like, "It's not that far." But then when you go South Wales, it's quite far.
Wales.
But yeah, no, just so Evan, driving instructor from Wales. Football fan. Any other interests outside of that? Like a beer every now and again?
Every now and again. Not as big a drinker as I used
Yeah.
to be. But video games. Big gamer.
Games? We never really spoken about this.
No. It's on my Xbox. But Football Manager's my guilty pleasure.
Hey, don't get me started on Football
I
Manager.
can't talk about it because Nicole will kill me.
No, honestly, I love Football Manager to the point though where I can't even download it anymore because I get so hooked on it. I'm completely addicted to it.
Once I'm lying in bed thinking about tactics,
Yeah.
you have to stop.
No, seriously, I wake up at like 2 a.m. and I'm thinking, that wonder kid from Peru.
Do I or do I not?
Yeah, do I do? How do I get De Bruyne out of my team to fit him in? Do you know what I mean? And but I used to play it. So it started for me back in the day when it was. I don't know if you remember like Champman 0102.
My dad gave my first one. 99. I was my first.
Yeah, 99,000 and Champman 0102. Those two. For me, were like the pinnacle of gaming.
Yeah.
Like that was the golden era for
Yeah.
Champman. City back then, obviously my team were absolutely crap, but it was just, I don't know, there was just something amazing about it. Like you used to get Javier Saviola, Pablo Aimar, pick them all, Ronaldinho from Gremio.
Yeah.
And you used to get them before they got bought for the big clubs. But listen, we can talk about this. Isn't a Football Manager
Do
podcast.
a different podcast.
Yeah. But yeah, so I don't buy it anymore. I've not bought it basically since Theo was born because I thought trying to run a business, trying to coach people, trying to look after a child, and trying to we're doing like house renovation at the same time. I was like, if I get Football Manager, I'm going to be skint. My child's just going to be wearing a dirty nappy all the time. And like nothing's getting done around the house. Right, so gamer, driving instructor, lives in Wales, likes the occasional pint.
Every now and again.
You went to uni...
Portsmouth.
Was it? So
yeah.
You've got around, haven't you?
Yeah. I've lived in a few different places. I'm originally from Worcester.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm originally from. And then moved to Wales after university then when I met my wife, Nicole.
Yes. We're going to talk about Nicole very soon.
So we live in Wales now. So, yeah. We're big music fans as well. So
Yeah, you go to quite a few gigs and
lots
stuff
of
like
gigs.
that, don't you?
That's
Yeah.
probably our biggest.
And what's your go-to music? What would it be?
Rock, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, rock.
I don't really like
rock
majority. I
is.
just like anything. I can listen to literally anything. As long as it's, I don't know, as long as it catches my.
I'm quite picky.
Yeah, like oh yeah. See,
Yeah.
like my gym playlist is so varied. It's untrue. I've got like Drake on there. I've got Cascada. I've got Nirvana. Like it's ridiculous. Like I've got a bit of everything.
Mine's the
Straight rock.
same. Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much all the way through.
So, outside of obviously your interests and stuff like that, you let us know about the fitness side of Evan. So, as you mentioned, you don't move much, etc. Which driving instructor, so you're driving around a lot, which makes a lot of sense. But let's go deeper. Let's go further back than that. So, how long have you been training?
When did I first start?
Yeah.
First time I picked up a weight, I was probably 13,
Okay.
I would say. Do you remember year 9 SATs?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just done them, and my dad said,
How old are you, by the way?
29.
29. So you've got 5 years on me. So, I can't remember if we had sacks or not.
We had SATs.
I don't know if we did. We did. But anyway.
Anyway,
Yeah.
different. So he said he'd get me a present for doing well in them and whatnot.
Yeah.
I said I wanted some dumbbells.
Okay.
So I went to the local sports shop, I suppose, and we got two dumbbells, Gold's Gym ones, haven't they?
Yeah.
So they're like the
I think that's what everyone had.
so like the metal ones, you could unscrew the safety locks and slide the weights on and stuff. So I think I had 4 5-kilo weights.
Yeah.
That's all I had. So that's when I started.
Fair though, 4
in my
5 kilo
bedroom.
weights. I mean,
Yeah,
back then, like at 13 years
Yeah.
old, that's quite a lot of
13,
weight.
14, I think, or something like that.
Just doing endless bicep curls.
Just
I was
endless
imagine.
bicep curls. That's all I knew.
Yeah.
That's all I
It's
could do.
literally all I did. I remember first
Yeah.
going to the gym when I was like 16 myself, and when I first went into the gym, and all you want to do at that age, especially as a young lad, is biceps and chest.
Yeah.
Like, that's literally all I did. To the point where my posture, because I did at that age as well, like you can grow a fair bit of muscle
Yeah.
tissue. So I was just like that. I was just like no muscle
Walking
anywhere
around.
else. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Carry on.
But I was always a skinny kid at school.
Yeah.
So I was like, if I turned around, I went 2D.
2D.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why I started. I wanted to try and put a bit of muscle on and fill out a little bit.
Yeah.
So I just did that in my bedroom. That's all I had. And then maybe at like 16, I added more to my collection of weights. So I got a barbell, more weights, like little ones, so I could increment it up a bit more. And so I started training a bit more in the bedroom. Then that died off again, as it does.
I think it's quite training at. I mean, listen, obviously you're young, so it's different. But
Yeah.
training at home is just. It's,
At that age, it was.
everyone found out in lockdown how fucking boring it is training at home.
Yeah. And then we got a gym membership at school through when we were in sixth form. We had to do some sort of activities on a Wednesday afternoon. 'Cause it was like sports. If you're on the sports team or whatever. So they gave us like concession cards in the local leisure centre, which is just across the road. So me and my mate used to go all the time. So probably about 16, 17, we were training quite a lot in the gym.
Yeah.
The first gym that we went to in the leisure centre, it's just standard.
Yeah,
you know,
I think we all went for it, right?
council
Yeah.
leisure centre, £2 a pop that we'd pay to go in. But again, that died off again. And then university, signed up for a gym, same process, died off. I went through, must have been 2 gyms. Yeah, at least 2 gyms, if not 3 gyms at university. Didn't
Never really.
go to any, didn't really go anywhere. So,
And would you say, so sorry to butt in there, would you say that was probably down to just a lack of structure and understanding? So obviously you start with that initial boost, bit of motivation, jump your new gym, you get your new gym gear, you get your new fucking like supplement stack or whatever. And then that motivation after a few weeks, you're like,
definitely. Like I sort of knew how to train because I've been doing it for quite a few years, and we'd done it in the gym, and we had inductions and stuff with the PTs and the leisure centre and stuff. So they showed us all the machines and stuff. But it was definitely training to a structure and trying to do the same thing each week in a proper structure, increasing the weight when you needed to. But I've had
good. So like you kind of had you had an understanding of what you should have been doing.
to a point, but it was the nutrition more than anything.
Yeah.
from my point of view, I think that's why.
And were you still struggling to gain weight at this stage?
Oh, massively. If not, I was losing weight.
Okay.
And that's a lot of the time, that's why I'd stop.
Yeah.
Because I train. And then.
Because you weren't seeing the benefits and the results.
And I'd get, my lowest point was probably at the 20s. I think I was probably at 20. Nicole just started with a well-known weight loss.
Yeah.
We'll call them Skinny Earth. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
people, I imagine people, I'm assuming they demonize quite a lot of food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it helped her on her way.
Of course.
It got her eating better food and whatnot.
Yeah.
And we used to cook together quite a lot.
Yeah.
So she'd make food. I'd eat food because I'm a man. But there wasn't enough food.
Yeah.
And when we were in uni, when we lived in second and third year, we had a 2-mile walk to uni there, 2 mile back. And then final year, I was working as well in a pub as a waiter. So that'd be another 2 miles back. And that was on the weekends as well. So we were walking a long distance. And then I was probably eating 1,500 calories a day.
Yeah.
If that. So I was moving lots.
So you were inadvertently just constantly in a
And then,
deficit.
I was probably, my average weight for my teens was about 8 stone.
Wow. Yeah, okay.
And I was less than that.
Wow. Right,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
So I had 28 waist jeans,
Jesus.
but they didn't fit. They were too big.
Yeah.
So I had to get a belt, buy a new belt, and then stretch it as far as I needed it to go. There wouldn't be a hole far enough. So then I'd poke a little hole and then get a pair of scissors and make a hole in the belt to make sure the jeans didn't fall down.
Wow, that's crazy. That is mental. And was that because listen, this is something that probably annoys me a little bit about the fitness industry is people say it's not about genetics, and obviously there's an element where genetics don't matter too much because if you're doing the right things consistently, you'll see progress. As we found out with yourself. But genetics do have a role to play, and you're naturally, you're naturally quite a skinny guy. I'm naturally
Runs in the family.
Yeah,
like the men are generally.
I'm naturally, if I'm honest, like I'm probably on the podgier side. And I have to work quite hard to keep my weight off, so I'm the opposite end of the spectrum. If we could like kind of somehow meet in the middle,
Perfect.
You'd have like and this is what annoys me. So like it's genetics do have a role to play, and you've probably had that, along with everything else. The fact that you didn't, like say, know too much about your nutrition, the fact you were moving so much, etc.
Yeah.
Were you playing sports as well?
Second year of playing football.
Yeah.
First year I played football as well. 5-a-side in the first year and then 11-a-side in the second year. But third year was just work really. So I was doing about 30 hours in the pub.
Okay.
12, 14-hour shift on a Saturday.
Yeah.
So I didn't wear a Fitbit then or anything, but I've been getting a lot of steps.
Yeah.
And then I wasn't eating well on those days anyway. It was just
eating what you can,
what I could when I could. Yeah.
And it's like uni life in it where like you're probably like massively deficient in protein and stuff.
Yeah, and you go straight out after on a Saturday night, get changed in work, straight out.
You're literally living on like pot noodles and stuff.
Yeah, and alcohol. So
so you're slightly lacking in micronutrients and stuff. Yeah,
any nutrients.
Okay, cool. So that kind of leads us on to, I mean, fast forward obviously a bit of time, but you then found out about Biceps and Banter through Nicole.
Yeah.
So I met Nicole, who is Evan's wife, at our photo shoot in, I want to say November not last year, 2 years ago. 2022, November 2022. And I remember we went out for food afterwards. So we do like the group shoot, then we all go out for like a bite to eat afterwards. And she said to me, I'm going to get my fella to join up to the next blitz. I was like, okay, cool. I'll look out for him and I'll make sure I'm his coach. And obviously then that's where we found out about yourself. But Nicole smashed it because she's been through her own kind of massive transformation, hasn't she? And she was actually coached by Mike.
Yeah.
And she was with him quite a while, wasn't she?
2 years maybe?
2 years.
Something like that.
Yeah, cool. But she's in a great position now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, tell us I suppose a little bit about what Nicole went through. So she lost a lot of weight.
Yeah, so she lost a lot of weight when we were at uni, when she started eating better food, and she lost a couple of stone doing that and just moving more. And then I'm not sure how much she lost altogether, but it was just the structure, and I think she came in under 60 kg into a shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she lost a lot of
I
weight
think
and
more
trained
important
hard.
for Nicole. She looked amazing, but it was probably because like you say, you can do, especially when you're going down that initial fat loss route, you can do the vast majority through nutrition, just moving a bit more. But then she started training and enjoying the training, and you see the benefits of the composition changes.
Yeah.
And obviously she plays hockey and things, so so many benefits from that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Nicole absolutely smashed it, and obviously that's where I kind of realised that you were coming into Blitz. So that's how you heard about us, and that leads us then into Blitz. So Blitz is essentially kind of an aggressive fat loss plan. And at the time, I think was it 8 weeks at the time? Because we've had so many different format changes. Was it 6 weeks? It might have been. It might have been.
It was last year.
It was last year. So it might have
year.
been 6. Yeah. So we had kind of 6 weeks. So within 6 weeks, the idea was really we just kind of get as much fat off you in that time as possible.
Which sounds bonkers considering what I just said.
Yeah, I know. And this is what I was kind of leading on to. So I remember coaching you at the time, and I think I might have said it in your check-ins a few times. I was like, I think we need to look at this the opposite way around and think about actually you need to gain muscle and gain size before you do something like this again. And I think you did quite well. So I think I had a look at your stats actually. So I think you came in about 63 kg on splits. I think you finished splits about 59. So considering you were so light, you actually dropped 4 kilograms, and vast majority you can evidently see was around your midsection, so there was quite a lot of body fat that you lost in that kind of short space of time. And then we had a call and we're like, right, I need to do this, and we need to do it properly and commit to gaining weight in the right manner, which leads on to kind of where we're at now. And I mean, we're up at 75-ish, give or take.
Yeah,
so,
I was 74.5 this morning, but
yeah,
the highest have been 75.6.
And you've been poorly for the last few days. So obviously
that's dropped.
That makes sense. But I mean, that's 15 kilograms that we've gained in about a year. And we'll go into kind of like the benefits and all the trials and tribulations of that as we get further into it. But that's pretty fucking amazing. So, yeah, well done, mate. Honestly, I'm like, this is why I wanted to get you on to the podcast, because a lot of what we talk about is obviously fat loss. Because fat loss is, let's be honest, like it's more kind of glamorized on Instagram and stuff like that.
Trendy.
Yeah, it's trendy and it's easier to sell essentially. But what people don't see is everything outside of fat loss, which is, the vast majority of the time should be spent training hard, performing well, recovering well, lifting some more weight, and actually gaining weight and gaining a little bit of body fat as well. And that's why I wanted to get you on, because you've kind of gone through this journey, and I've got quite a few clients going through it at the moment, and they've actually sent me some questions because, I think there's different mental battles that you have when you're losing body fat and when you're gaining fat. And I personally think that the mental battles of gaining fat and gaining weight, I shouldn't say just gaining fat, gaining muscle, as a byproduct of gaining muscle, you're gaining a bit of body fat, I think are personally harder, and we'll go into that a little bit more detail. 3 stone heavier, pretty much, give or take, nearly. How have you found the whole gaining process? How have you found it? Just a bit of an...
Well, really good. Like, clothes fit.
We were just saying, actually, weren't we? So we went for a coffee before, and that's...
the first medium shirt I ever bought.
Yeah.
In July last year. And before that, I was in smalls, extra smalls. Yeah. And then
What's
shirt...
your waist now?
I think these are 30 or 32.
Okay, cool.
32s.
So we've managed to keep that fairly low as well, which is ideal.
But like shirts and stuff never used to fit.
I remember you sent me a picture. I think it was when you went on your holiday. I think that was July time, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And it was the shorts as well. I was like, mate, you're filling out your shorts like massively.
Yeah. So the clothes aspect of it has been better because you feel more comfortable in it. Stuff fits better than it ever used to. But it's not been easy.
Yeah.
It's not been easy. Like, we've had to eat quite a lot of food every day. Find that happy medium where we've gradually increased food over the weeks to see where we needed it at, and we've been pretty consistent for the last 6 months now.
Oh yeah,
the same calories every day.
Do you remember the first kind of month or so? Do you remember you were still losing weight?
Yeah,
I was like, I bumped your calories up massively after
and kept losing it,
and you kept dropping weight.
Yeah,
I think we went as far as 3,000 calories before it started to steady itself out.
And then go back up. So, so just finding that point really, which is back in when I was younger, I would have never thought I needed to eat that much or whatever. I didn't know anything about that. So just having you tell me, like, eat this, not eat this food, but these are your calories, these are your macros.
This is what
just do this.
And
then we'll just trial it. You just have to trial it.
Yeah.
You just have to trial it. And
because there's science, because I remember, at the end of the day, we can kind of type your height, age, weight,
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff into a calorie calculator, it will probably tell you that you need to eat, again, this is going back to genetics and stuff like that, like 2,000 calories to gain weight. And the chances are actually you need way more, especially with someone like yourself. But yeah, so like I said, we bumped up calories, and it's a bit of a weird feeling, especially when you've come straight from doing something like Blitz, where obviously calories are cut. So to go straight up and just see an increase in calories straight away, it's a bit of I think that's quite a mentally challenging time, because obviously the definition that you've maybe seen
Yep.
from a fat loss plan starts to gradually disappear.
I think we were down to 1,400 by the end of Blitz.
Yeah.
I think something
So it's
very low.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we've added an extra 2,000 on top of that.
Yeah. So throughout the gaining process, obviously we've got structure in terms of your nutrition. So now we've got structure in terms of your nutrition and structure in terms of your training. Obviously, that's meant that we started to see progress.
Yeah.
What would you say you've enjoyed the most about that part? Is it the training? Is it just eating? You know, obviously I know it took a while for us to find our feet with eating more food, but
I probably enjoy the training more because I can train more. Whereas before, when I wasn't eating enough, I'd injure myself or just get tired really quickly and then not go back to the gym because I didn't have enough energy.
I'm so happy you said that.
So
I'm so happy you said that.
So training's I've enjoyed it, and we're just in a block now of 5 days a week, which we're in. We've been doing.
We've done 4 days pretty much the whole way through, haven't we? And
4 days all the way through. We're just done
12
we're 10, around 10 weeks now.
Yeah.
5 days a week because of the extra calories and just to push the last bit before we do a cut again. So,
but this is where I was really hoping you said training, because when people are in a calorie deficit, when people are losing body fat, like to a certain extent, training's not that fun, because I mean, don't get me wrong, it takes a while, but training is you're essentially eating less energy than what your body requires. So of course, your training's going to take a hit in some way, shape, or form, and not just training, your recovery and stuff like that. And something I always say to my fat loss clients is, let's just get this fat loss phase done, because once we've got the fat loss out of the way, then we can increase it. And you actually start to see that actually training can be enjoyable.
Yep.
And and the feeling of going into the gym and feeling strong, and you
Doing
go
a
in and you're
PB.
like, right, you've recovered well, you slept well, because again, you've got all this food inside you. And you're going in, you're fueled, ready for pushing PBs for progression. And that's quite a nice feeling, isn't it? Going in and seeing the numbers gradually go up, and some of your numbers have gone up ridiculous.
well, yeah, when we first started, I probably got them on my phone, but
Yeah.
if you take dumbbell chest press, for instance, I think I was probably pushing 12 and a half, maybe back in Blitz time, maybe 10s. I'm up to 32 and a half now. So
ridiculous.
squats as well. I think I was just doing the bar.
Yeah.
And now I think we're up to about 50 or 60 on
This is what I
the
mean.
high raise ones. And deadlifts, I remember doing a trap bar deadlift through Blitz, and I could barely move it just because I had no energy.
Yeah.
And we haven't done deadlifts for a while, but I think I was doing 80
Yeah.
then. So yeah, the numbers just...
Oh, it's crazy.
Yeah,
That's insane.
rocketed out.
Like incredible. And
It's because of the energy.
yeah, it's because of the energy. It's
Yeah.
because of your and your recovery as well.
Yeah,
And
which has helped.
a lot of people go into a fat loss phase, and their approach will be the same, like, I'm going to try and push numbers really high, and then ultimately that will lead to injury, it will lead to fatigue, and that's when people just pay off everything. So the fact that now you're eating more food, you're recovering well, sleep's generally quite good and stuff like that, all those kind of biofeedback metrics, that's what we're after, and the results are showing, and we're getting there. The one thing that I struggled with, this is something that I really wanted to talk to you about, because something that probably held me back a lot when I was younger. Again, from being because I was the opposite to you, I was quite a chubby kid. I
don't believe it.
Yeah, I was chubby and I was quite small. It took me a while to grow, and I developed late, should we say. But something that really held me up because of my young years being a chubbier kid was when I did get into the gym and I did kind of get into shape, I then really struggled to get my mindset into the place of gaining muscle and seeing, as a byproduct of that, seeing body fat come on. I'm to the point where it probably hindered my progress for years and years and years, because I was so petrified of losing this definition that I'd worked so hard to build. And I think a lot of people listening to this podcast will relate to exactly that feeling, because you don't want, everyone wants to feel good at the top off, etc. And you don't want to see yourself gain fat. How have you, I know this is something we spoke about, not so much recently because I think we found our groove with it, but your first 6 months is probably some, because one of the questions on on your spreadsheet is, do you look leaner? And it's like, no. Not every single week, no.
No, or just same.
No.
Just same.
Fluffier.
Yeah,
A little bit fatter.
Yeah.
It's like, okay. So I wanted to ask you, how have you found that side of things?
To start with, I find it quite funny because I didn't think I'd ever get to that point, to be honest. I never thought I'd see myself put on
Gaining
weight.
weight. Yeah.
So to start, when my shirts started and I see my belly coming out, just found it a bit funny. But then after a while, obviously, it's not great. Like it does knock your, mental aspects and your confidence a little bit. But the other side of that is when you go into the gym, you're pushing numbers. And actually, because when we went on holiday in July, you gave me the option where we can either do a mini cut up to it, but I think we'd only been bulking for 3 months, and you wanted to do 6. So you said we can either do a little mini cut before we go on holiday, or we can just continue bulk through the holiday and then we'll do a mini cut later on. So we did the bulk through the holiday.
Yeah.
So on holiday, obviously, I felt strong.
Yeah.
I felt good, but not lean.
Yeah.
So it was a bit of a weird
Yeah.
mix, but at the end of the day, it was just...
It's part of the process.
It's part of the process. It's just something that we could have done the mini cut then, but I was getting back into it then after the holiday would have been more tricky, where I was just do the holidays I want to do and still in a bulk.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if I put a bit of weight on.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And then come in. Yeah, so actually overall, hasn't affected me too much.
Good.
Because I just started buying bigger t-shirts.
Yeah. Well, that was one of the benefits. So
yeah, so I've got like 5, maybe 8 t-shirts that I'd have my bulking t-shirts, so they're a bit more forgiving. Well,
you've got the right mindset, and this is, again, I think it is maybe because you're coming from a different place of always being the skinnier kid as well. So for you, it was like, oh, actually, I'm gaining weight. I'm quite enjoying this. But yeah, it's you have to almost kind of, you were looking at the pros rather than the cons, which is what you've got to do with everything, and at the end of the day, so although we were gaining a bit of body fat and you weren't looking leaner, and I was bringing up your pictures, and like the biggest changes we could see were in your back. I remember I was seeing like your upper back was developing really, really well. But ultimately, you are gaining body fat, right, certainly around the midsection.
Yep.
But rather than you kind of concentrating on that and letting that get you down, you're like, well, my lifts are up.
Yeah.
I'm filling out t-shirts. I'm getting stronger. I'm feeling good, and
for the first time.
For the first time. Yeah. So I think that's really important for people to hear, because you can very easily just get in this process of just thinking, oh, shit, I'm getting a little bit.
And then go for a cut.
And then go for a cut. And then you're never going to see the benefits of what you've started to do.
Yeah.
And listen, the brutal side of gaining size, especially as someone who's natural, which every single one of my clients is, including yourself, is that it takes fucking time. Yeah. It takes time. We're a year down the line now, and we've made unbelievable progress, but that's down to you trusting the process and never getting bogged down with it, and just kind of being consistent and just ticking the boxes you need to tick every single week. Sometimes our check-ins, I'm like, you're doing great, mate.
Yeah. That's all needs to be said. Same as last week.
That's it. And as
boring.
As daft as it sounds, though, it's just that monotony of just kind of right, same again. Same
food.
Yeah, and I wish,
training.
and I think in today's Instagram world and like online world, it's so easy to get distracted by shortcuts and hacks and stuff. And there isn't one. There isn't one. It's literally just eating more food, going to the gym consistently, pushing yourself harder. And like I say, Evan is like literally proof that this stuff works. Like I say, almost 3 stone heavier, wearing clothes that you never thought you would.
Nope.
Lifts 300-400% better more than what they were. Like it's just compounded over time.
Yeah.
So yeah, really happy with that. Right. So we kind of talked about that. That was I was just talking about kind of trading performance. Right. So this is where I'm gonna kind of blow my own trumpet, or not. I'm gonna ask you to blow it for me.
Oh, okay. Butt you up.
So not necessarily me, to be fair, but what have you enjoyed the most about the coaching process? Remember, I'm paying you for this.
I know. The most enjoyment, probably, it's just having you in the background, really. Just knowing you're a text away if I'm struggling. Like Jack in this week, not feeling well, and you're just like, just take the week. Don't train. Just take a bit off. Whereas if I was on my own, I'd probably feel like I'd have to go to the gym. So it's that accountability, but also the support
Yeah.
behind it. It's not just, oh, Jake's going to tell me off if I don't go to the gym. It's actually, no, life gets in the way. Actually, you're human. At the end of the day, you're not a bot
I think that's
behind it. And I think that's what's probably made the biggest, I think, difference in terms of you've given me structure. You've given me this is your training routine. This is nutrition, which makes obviously life very easy.
Yeah.
But I think it's that support just in the background where you can just go, do you know what, I'm struggling today, or I didn't feel good in the gym today, or whatever. Like, I don't message you that much because I just get on with it. But if I do need to, then I know that you'll get back to me when you can, and we'll have a call or whatever. So I think that's probably the biggest. I think coaching wise, I think that's probably the best thing for it.
This is the thing that people. So with coaching, I think there's just like, looking from the outside, and you could very easily think it is just, here's your training plan.
There's a stigma to it.
Yeah, here's your training plan, here's your diet plan, off you go kind of thing. Whereas, at half our check-ins now, we talk, the first 2 minutes, we probably talk about football. It's like we're just having a laugh about football and stuff. And, the thing for me is, like, I like to think that, we have been for a pint, or like, for me, I like to think I go for a pint with all my clients. And I think that what gets the results for people is ultimately is not always the training plan and the nutrition one, because you can get that for free online to a certain extent. Like, obviously there's caveats to that, and there's different things to take into consideration, but knowledge is free.
Yeah.
Actually having someone there to be like, okay, like this week, Nicole wasn't very well, you've not been very well, you've not been feeling great. As you say, in normal circumstances, you would probably push yourself through that, probably injure yourself, fucking
take more time off work.
Take more time off work. Ultimately, I end up taking more time out of the gym because you push yourself into the ground. Whereas, like, okay, no, just take the week off, relax. And I was like, I think I remember saying, like, strict orders not to go to the gym.
Jake's orders.
Like, that's not what you'd expect to hear from a coach, but it's what you should be hearing. And I think that's the most important thing. And that's the same for me. So I still have a coach, and it's not because I don't know what I'm doing. It's not the knowledge. It's actually just having someone to be like, okay, well, celebrate all the little victories and stuff like that along the way. Like fucking virtual high five you and stuff. But also just be like, listen, calm down. Like, things are okay. So we can just back off a little bit. Yeah. And sometimes I might be like, right, now's the time to push on. So it's knowing when to do that stuff. And because training's a stressor, a calorie surplus is a stress on your body. Calorie deficit is a stress on your body. So when you've got all these stresses they're good stresses in one way, shape or form, but stresses nonetheless. So it's hard to then kind of, when you're doing it on your own, kind of you've got all these stresses coming in, which are training related, nutrition related. And then when you've got external stuff, when you're on your own, you think emotionally, not logically. Whereas sometimes you just need someone to be like, listen, let's just relax. Yeah. So no, wicked. And that's exactly what I was hoping you'd say. Yeah. You can get your tenner later.
Cheers.
So what's next? So obviously we are coming towards the end of our gaining phase. So talk us through it.
Yeah, I think we've got 2 more weeks, maybe, something like that. And then it'll be a nice long cut till June-ish. We've got a photo shoot planned in. We'll talk about that later. Yeah. But so that's the plan long term now, is cut those calories down and
see what we've built,
see what we've done for the last year. Yeah. So
the difference will be night and day. I'm excited for it. But it's going to be interesting. Like you say, we'll have a chat about the photo shoot. But the reason, like you say, Nicole did a photo shoot and stuff, and I always say this, but the reasons we do the photo shoots, I'm sure Nicole says it was one of, hopefully she enjoyed it and said it was one of the best things she's done when it comes to fitness. It's not because you want to like be a pro bodybuilder or anything. It's just like, okay, it's just documenting your progress to that moment in time, and you've gone through this journey, so it's nice to have a little bit. Pretty cool. Do you know what I mean? Like, get yourself out your comfort zone every now and again. So we'll I've got Evan on now because he's full of energy and he's eating loads of food. Give it a few months, he won't want to come on and he'll be hating me.
I'll have no face for this.
Right.
Ever be back.
So, top tips to anyone wanting to go through the same process as yourself. So I'm talking about not just coaching, like forget coaching, like go through someone in your position. So like if you were talking to younger Evan, so like 20-year-old Evan was sat in front of you, skinny, like didn't know what to do with things, lacking structure, going to gyms, doing it for a few weeks and stop him, what would you say?
Nutrition, definitely, would be my number one from what I've learned. Because I remember maybe a few years ago, I even worked out how much calories I need to eat and protein I still didn't do it. So that's the coaching side of it. But yeah, the nutrition was probably the biggest thing. And I don't know if I think I mentioned it before, but I don't know. Jake looks very confused here.
What's that?
I'm actually vegetarian.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I have.
How the hell did I not know this?
I mentioned it once, but I didn't feel it was relevant because I just crack on
Well, it's
with it.
not really.
No,
it's not,
but
it's not.
so not even eating chicken or anything
Yeah.
like that. So it was
Yeah.
just
And you've literally hit your protein target
every day.
every single day
Yeah.
for like the last year and a bit.
So, yeah, so you can do it on any diet.
Yeah.
So, but no, nutrition would be my number one.
But that's
Get
kind of-
that
again,
in first.
Just before, sorry to butt in, but that's actually a good point because again, I think people would be concerned if about hitting these kind of targets and stuff. And the fact that I didn't even know, or if I did, I've just kind of forgotten about it. Like and you've just been so consistent is incredible.
Yeah.
And that just shows that you can. And this is why the approach that we take with nutrition is also what I would think, biasly thinking is the best, because if I gave you a meal plan, you're probably like,
I can't eat that.
yeah, can't do that. Whereas actually, no, it's like, no, I just want you to, these are your goals, then you eat what you want to hit those targets,
So it hasn't mattered at all. So yeah, nutrition would be number one.
Yeah.
Get the calories in, maybe even let it settle down, and then start training up. And once you've got a bit more energy, definitely. And then number two, then on top of that would just be enjoy the training. Like you got to have a plan you enjoy. Like we flickered around with, I think we've done upper lower, and then we've done push pull upper legs.
Yeah.
And then the 5 days is 3 uppers, 1 lower.
Yeah.
Or 2 backs, 2 chest and
we're
shoulders,
focusing
and
a lot on
yeah,
that. Yeah.
which it just makes it up after those 12 weeks. You're kind of like, yeah, cool, let's get a different program in. Even if I'm enjoying it, it's mixing it up makes a big difference then anyway. So yeah, enjoy the training, and then you just have to trust the process.
I've taught him
He's
well.
definitely paid me.
Taught him well.
Yeah, it's just the process all the way. Like if you put on fat, it's part and parcel of it. You just have to push through it, or buy bigger t-shirts and just. But that should feel good. Like coming from my point of view, that should be a good thing. That I can now chuck out all my smaller t-shirts that I'm never going to wear again because hopefully they never fit.
Yeah.
So yeah, pushing, doing that'd be my 3 things of get the nutrition in, train, enjoy it, and then trust it all that it's and it will take time. It will take time.
Nailed it.
But yeah, just have to keep going with it.
Nailed it. Yeah, and I think that's it. I think that the main thing there, of course, is just enjoying it because, again, I say to all my clients, regardless whether they're doing the fat loss or if they're trying to gain size, is just enjoy the process, because if you enjoy the process, the result will just look after itself.
It's easy.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like if you got bogged down when the scales were still going down and were eating more food, you would have, Jake, I don't, can't handle this, and stopped. Where does that get you? It doesn't get you anywhere. Whereas actually just trusted the process, just kept ticking boxes, never let anything bog you down, and ultimately it's left you in this position. So yeah, wicked. And I think that relates to fat loss, gaining muscle, everything. Just enjoy the process, and even after that. So for after we've done the shoot and it's kind of less aesthetic goals, you might then be like, what, I just want to. Because fitness doesn't stop, it might be then that we just go performance related and just actually, quite happy to just enjoy where you are composition wise, just feel good in the gym and training hard and just, you're not just gonna be like, right, done it now, finished. This is it for life essentially to a certain extent. Right, wicked. So now this one is one that I'm asking you. This is your bonus one if you get this one right. So. And this, if you get this one right, there'll be less cardio whilst we're doing the dieting side of things as well. So
I hate cardio.
Now, what would you say to someone who's thinking about getting support from a coach? Not even me, just a coach.
Definitely consider it if you're struggling. Like if you're not seeing any benefits from what you're doing at the moment, then if you don't change it, it's just going to stay the same, or you just give up. So, because I don't think I did it the traditional way that you and Jake would suggest. Follow someone on Instagram for a while and watch what they're like and stuff. See if you like them. Because you met Nicole, so and she mentioned what you were like and stuff. So I thought, well, it would be a pretty good fit.
Yeah.
Anyway, so So I think, yeah, I think just having that structure and just accountability is the big thing. Just having someone, like we said before, just having someone in the background there to support and give you that accountability for if you are or you aren't doing it, just to keep pushing you along to the goal that you want. And and just got to pick someone I think you get on with and trust at the same time that they are giving you the right information. And then after a while, if it's not working, then either you're not doing what you're telling them you're doing, or they're not doing what they should be doing. So I think, finding someone and having a coach, I think will just accelerate your goals at the end of the day, because I'd still be where I was last year right now. Yeah, so I probably wouldn't be in the gym, to be honest.
Yeah, you probably carried on kind of like doing a few weeks here, a few weeks there kind of thing. Whereas, I think that's the thing that we say. So, like I say, regardless whether you went with me as a coach or not, I think if you'd went with Jake, you would have got similar results, because me and Jake are very similar. Yeah. And I think it's just one of them. It's, it's finding someone that, one, you can get along with, but you hit the nail on the head. So cardio, you're going to be all right. But no, it's the accountability. It really is, because I think at the end of the day, you can have literally, I could give you the world, I mean, probably do anyway, but I could give you the world's best training plan. And if you're not going to do it doesn't fucking matter. No. Again, you said there, you'd figured out your calories, you'd figured out how much protein you should have been eating when you were younger. Were you doing it? No. So it's actually, it's having someone to hold you accountable to doing the things that you should be doing. Yep. And then obviously just applying all the logic and stuff like that behind the scenes, which is important.
Of why. Sometimes why is important.
Yeah, and like, certainly not so much anymore, because you've probably got loads of knowledge on it now and you've learned. Yeah. But, I remember the early days, you'd always ask me questions about like, why are we doing this training, or why is this changed with your nutrition? And again, the way we do check-ins, I think, is beneficial to that as well, because I know some coaches will do like tight form check-ins and stuff, whereas we ask you to send a video, which you're usually in your car or at home and just chilling out. Yep. But you send us a video and you talk us through your week, or talk me through your week, and you let me know how it's gone and stuff, and then I can get context behind it. Again, for this week that's just gone, you're not being well and stuff like that. As daft as it sounds, if I got that in a form, it doesn't have the same feel. Whereas after you talking,
have the emotion to it.
Get the emotion, you get the context. I'm like, right, okay. And sometimes I can pick up on just the way you're saying things, and that's why I'm like, okay, let's take the week off. Yeah. So, you're all good, mate. You get your 10 out and
no cardio.
And no cardio for a week.
I probably need it.
So that's all my questions. So I'll tell you what, I'm just going to get my phone out, because I put some questions on Instagram, and a few people were asking a few bits and pieces. So here we go. Right, we've got some good ones, actually. I was surprised. So, easiest ways to get more food in. So when you want more calories.
Liquids. I was trying to eat. I don't know if you remember, but when I first started the bulk, I was trying to eat clean. I was like, I can't do it. There's too much food. And you're just like, just eat crap. Yeah. if you need calories, just eat, as long as it's within your... And like you say, it's only a guideline anyway. So as long as you're around it, then it's fine. As long as you're getting your proteins is an important bit. But yeah, apple juice. I have about 500 mils of apple juice a day. Yeah, because that's just carbs. And then you told me to get that. I can't remember how to say it. The maltodextrin. Yeah. So I have that in the gym if I'm training. So that's an extra 200 calories gone just in liquids. And I have a protein shake with ice cream in it for extra calories. And then I have about 4 meals a day, I think. So I have my classic Big Dave oats in the morning with chocolate and fruit and even some sweets if I'm feeling adventurous. I was going to say. Yeah, have some sweets on top of that. And then I usually have this packet rice you can get. So I just boil them up in the morning, half a packet of that with 2 veggie burgers, which are pretty good for protein. And then I have my packed lunch then, bagel, cheese, and then chocolate bar crisps, protein, flapjack and stuff like that. And then we'll have our dinner. Whatever Nicole's made, I can always add extra protein to that, extra corn stuff or whatever. And then if I need some extra calories in the evening, it will just be biscuits or something that can just get calories in quickly.
I love the fact you said that, because like I think that's a bit, again, and this is a mental adjustment, probably takes a few weeks or at least a month to kick in.
I was in the process of just come off Blitz.
That's it. And obviously when you are dieting, there's a different approach,
Yeah.
because when you're dieting, you do want the vast majority of foods come from clean places, because ultimately you're going to feel fuller and have more energy and stuff. But whilst you're gaining size, and not even just gaining size, like you might be maintaining or gaining size or just looking after your training performance and recovery, so, you know, as long as, you know, your calories and your protein are matched. I mean, we always have had a focus on carbs just to help your training and stuff, but ultimately, like, it doesn't really matter where you get the calories from, and that's something that, you know, it does take a while. I think, you know, Dave spoke about it when he's been on here, and he said he's had like 5 guys just to get his calories in and stuff, and it's relevant, and it's something that I see a lot. So when people go from like a diet, or even just come in and they want to gain size, but they still under this. And again, I think Instagram fucking does this to us all. Like, you go on someone's what I eat in a day, and it's like the most ridiculous shit you've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's like, come on. But you don't eat like that every day. I'm not having it.
No, you're eating 5,000 calories a day, not in just pure veg.
And you just need to get it in sometimes.
Yeah.
And if you get it in through, like you said, liquid format and stuff like that.
Or if I'm late and I just need some calories and some protein, get you a pizza.
Yeah,
Is it a
exactly.
pizza?
Exactly.
So that's really good for protein and stuff. So
Wicked.
yeah.
Right. How to be... I don't know if I understand the context behind this one. How to be flexible when gaining.
In terms of food, or
I'm assuming it's probably in terms of food, which you've probably kind of just covered in that question, to be fair. So this is a good one, and I suppose we kind of covered it to a certain extent, but how to stay motivated when gaining and not looking better in checking pictures, I think I'm going to say. So that's
just
the kind of stuff
we've sort of covered it, but checking pictures wise, like, I don't worry about them. I just send them to you, just to see them. They're for you more than me.
Yeah,
like, I don't really look at them, to be honest. I will start once we start dieting.
Dieting's very different.
I'll start noticing more differences, but
again, we spoke about the benefit, because again, you just I mean, if you kind of stare at those pictures too long, you're like, God, I'm looking a bit tubby in some areas. But you look at the other stuff. Yeah, the fact that your squat is 400% stronger. Do you know, this kind of stuff, and that's the benefit, and obviously the way your clothes are fitting. And it's just the stuff that comes with that as well. Like when you put on a t-shirt and you're feeling out a bit more, like the little bit of confidence that gives you for the day, and like, you know, just lots of things like that. That's what you should be focusing on rather than your pictures.
Those are the wins.
Yeah, wicked. Yeah. Right. Okay. So let's see. So this isn't no questions, but just want to say, get in there, Rev. #beast mode. That's from Jen, who you met on the train.
Oh yeah.
So
thanks, Jen.
Another coach who would win in a fight out of you two. I'm gonna say Evan right now, because he's just eating so much food. So
Jake's taller, so I probably couldn't reach him and just hold me.
And then what kind of workouts, this is the last one, what kind of workouts do you need to be doing to gain this weight / muscle?
Don't think it matters.
Nah.
I think it matters.
Yeah, it doesn't matter at all. I mean, as we mentioned, we've done different splits for your training and things, and I think something that me and Jake speak about a lot is you can go down a rabbit hole of thinking you're doing the perfect training plan, and you actually fucking nailed it when you said as long as you enjoy it. Like, that's the main thing.
As long as you're hitting every muscle group over the week.
There's a bit of science behind it. So like when you say, when we do like a training review and I get you to fill in your training review form, and you might say, I just want to, I would like to improve on my back a little bit more, my biceps or whatever. So then, the science side of me is like, okay, so we just make sure we're getting between 12 and 20 sets on that area. And then ultimately it's down to the fact that once you've got that in, you're enjoying it and you're progressing, and
you're seeing the progress.
That's it.
Yeah.
And like, I could go into all my clients today and I could literally change them all from whatever split they're on to a full body, push-pull legs, whatever. It wouldn't really matter as long as they're going into the gym and performing at the right intensity, which is key. So
I think that's something I learned
and
through this process as well, because we had the training day, didn't we?
The training day, which might have helped you as well. But I think you were getting there anyway. You were getting your head around that as time progressed, but the training day probably accelerated that. And it's just understanding you can probably work harder than what you think. Yeah,
and I think over this 5-day block we've just done, I think the intensity I've pushed harder now, and I've started to, when you give me a rep range to hit, it's like, well, I'm doing 10 reps now. I need to increase the rate, even if I fail at it. At least I'm pushing myself harder on it. So I think that's something where I'd be like, I'm not going to get 10 reps if I increase the weight, so I'm not going to do it. I'll just stay at the same weight.
Yeah.
And then you just don't progress. So I think that side of the coaching as well and the training day that we did. So I've been like not afraid to fail at a set.
Yeah, and I say that to everyone really is, you know, the reps I give you, there is a little bit of science behind it, of course there is. Like, but so we don't want you like, if I give you 10 reps, you're doing 1.
You're going too hard.
Yeah, but if you know, at the end of the day, there's nothing magical about the reps, like at all. So if I get, you know, if it's 3 sets of 10, for example, you know, and you're getting to 7, 8, I'm actually happy with that because I'm like getting close to failure.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see. So yes, there's no magical workout. Just being consistent.
Yep.
But no, I think that kind of covers it, mate. So, first of all, thank you very much for coming on.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
I think people will find that really useful, actually.
Hope so.
Yeah, I think it's so nice to hear it from this perspective because, again, we speak a lot about fat loss, and I'm going to have a couple of clients on, obviously, where we talk about fat loss as well, and maybe that side of things. But this is just, you know, it's good for people to hear it. The time it takes. You know, the fact that, you know, the mental kind of side of things and the fact you are going to not always look your leanest and things, and you have to go through these kind of stages and what you should be focusing on more than what you shouldn't be. But mate, you've smashed it. Like, honestly, like, I know I was shocked when I saw you at the training day and like how solid you felt. I was like, fucking hell, we're doing well here. And we're now kind of another 4 months on.
That was September, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So
4 or 5 months on.
Yeah.
And, you know, we're progressing again. So I'm excited for the next stage.
See where we're at.
Yeah. So thank you very much, mate.
No problem.
And thank you for everyone for listening. Again, like, share, rate us. And if you want to get into great shape like Evan will, and Evan is,
You know a guy
where
to go
to
to. Yep.
Right. Cheers, guys. Thank you.